Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, today's lesson is again related to the process of urine formation, and we will discuss in this lesson the remaining process of the urine formation. In our last lesson we have seen that what is the composition of the urine and how these steps are taking place in the structure of the nephron. Moreover, we have seen the process of filtration, which is the first step of the urine formation. And we spoke of earlier, there are three basic steps for the urine formation. These are the filtration, reabsorption and secretion. We have discussed the detail of the filtration, in which we have seen that the glomerulus which is involved in the filtration of the blood, and the blood after the filtration is coming into the Bowman's capsule, which is known as the glomerular filtrate, and this is including water and glucose and some other electrolytes which are needed by the body sometimes. So we will discuss some other processes. According to the filtration rate, there is 180 liter blood is filtrated per day and coming into the Bowman's capsule. And we have closed our last lesson at the question that if the 180 liter of the blood is filtering each day by the nephrons, then why don't we excrete 180 L of the water per day? And the reason was the reabsorption, because not all the things which are coming into the Bowman's capsule as a glomerular filtrate is becoming the part of the urine, but the things become reabsorbed which are needed by the body. So what is the definition of the reabsorption? That is the movement of the substances out of the renal tubule back into the blood capillaries located around the tubules. And you have seen the structure of the nephron already, that the blood capillaries are surrounding this nephron structure in the kidney. So the movement of the substance out of the renal tubules back into the blood capillaries located around the tubules is called the reabsorption. Substances reabsorbed are the water, glucose and other nutrients, and the sodium and other ions, and these are the things which are needed by the body and not becoming the part of the urine. So first of all, we will talk about that what are the parts of the nephron which are involved in the reabsorption process. So the reabsorption begins in the proximal convoluted tubules and continues in the loop of Hanel, distal convoluted tubules and the collecting tubules. So this is all the parts of the renal tubular system. So the filtration process was taking place in the renal corpuscle, while the reabsorption is taking place mainly in the renal tubular region, and all these are the parts of the renal tubular regions. Now we will talk about the water reabsorption, that about 99% of the 180 L of the water that leaves the blood each day by the glomerular filtrate returns to the blood from the proximal tubule through the process of passive reabsorption. Why it is the passive reabsorption? Because there is no need of energy expenditure, and this process is taking place automatically. So this huge amount of water is coming back into the bloodstream out of the glomerular filtrate. Next, we will talk about the other nutrients. First of all, the nutrient glucose is entirely absorbed back into the blood from the proximal tubule. In fact, it is actively transported out of the tubule and into the peritubular capillary blood. What is the peritubular capillary blood? Peritubular capillaries are those one which are actually surrounding the proximal convoluted tubules and the loop of Hanel of the nephron. So the glucose is mainly absorbed in this region. Next, we will talk about the reabsorption of the sodium ions, and other ions are only partially reabsorbed from the renal tubules back into the blood according to the need of the body. So we will see that how, according to the need of the body, these ions are reabsorbed, as the amount depends largely on how much salt we take in the form of the foods that we eat. So if we are taking high amount of the salt or the sodiums, and our glucose level of the sodium and other salts are high, so the reabsorption of these salts including the sodium become low. So and vice versa. So this is all about the reabsorption process. In our next lesson we will see what is the secretion process which are involved, which is the third step of the urine formation, and what is its importance. So until then, thank you and Allah Hafiz.